You cannot take pictures of those cars. You can't take pictures of the inside of those cars because that's private property. And by doing such, you are trespassing into that private property.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to ask you to stop recording. I'm going to ask you to leave. And if you refuse to do that, then we'll take it up from the stuff from here.
What you're trying to do is violate my constitutional rights, and I'm not going to let that happen here today. Hey, what's up guys? The Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today we're at the Southaven City Hall here in Mississippi. We are here today to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants respect our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty well. I'm looking to do an open records request for the city.
Do what?
An open records request for public information.
Public record.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go down this hallway here, down the steps, second door on the right. It's the city clerk.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. We have the tribute hall here. Our friendly reminder that they're always recording us, even though it always seems to be a problem when we record them.
Hello.
Hi ma'am, how are you?
I'm good, how are you? How can I help you today?
I'm here to do a public records request.
Okay. Need a clipboard.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You want to see me? Can.
Just want to get some cards too.
That's fine. This is me. And this is the boss. This is the city clerk. And then the others are just
Okay.
whoever, if you want anybody else's.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome. Let me know if you have any questions on the application. Just try to be specific as possible, okay?
Okay, great. So here is the City of Southaven public records request form. Ashley was kind enough to give us her boss's, Andrea's, work card as well as hers. Let's fill this out. So it's just the first, last name, title, and salary of all city employees for the City of Southaven.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
sir. All right, so we have up to 7 business days to fill a public record request. We'll contact you once the request has been filled, and it's $20 for the $21 for the public record request. I think they've added an additional $1 for filing purposes, which I can pull that. I want to say I got a copy. That's the reason why I went up that $1. Probably gotta go get a reason, but it is an extra $1, and I don't think we've updated this application to read such.
Okay.
Because this is just saying a 20, but I know they've before the board with this whole $1 that the state's requiring for a filing fee.
Okay.
So we went in, opted in, and I gotta get that updated. But $20, 25 cents a page, and then there's $1 for a filing fee. But I'll contact you with the amount total once I get done, because I don't know how lengthy it's gonna be. Even if you wanted to email, I think it's per. I have to verify.
Okay.
Sometimes it's per sheet, you know.
Okay.
If we have to still.
Yeah, it's
print it
strange.
out.
Usually when I do a public records request, and if it's emailed and there's no kind of cost required, you know, because it's just being emailed, you know, it's not really costing you anything.
That's true. Because on here, because of it says CD digital, but there's another now.
Yeah.
This is older. Some of the packages older. I think they do charge for emails as well. But
Okay.
I will verify. Alyssa,
And just get back to me, yeah.
Yeah, because Alyssa is usually over public records, so she's more savvy than I am. But sometimes when she's out, I'm the backup to it.
Okay.
That's why I know about that $1, because I saw it come through my email.
Okay.
And we need to update this one. So, I'll get back with you. So we usually have 7 business days. Today's is the 20th. So the 28th is our deadline.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate
you.
You
are very welcome.
Appreciate your time today.
Yes, sir. You have a great rest of the day.
You too. All right, guys. Ashley was very nice. Let's take a look around the building here in the publicly accessible parts. Have a great day, guys.
Hi, how are you? Okay, I'm okay, thank you.
You too. All right, guys. So we're at the Southaven Police Department, right across the street from the Southaven City Hall, where we had a pleasant experience just now. So let's hope we have the same experience here. Let's take a look around the publicly accessible areas of the parking lot, and then we'll go inside. So far, so good. No issues. Hey, how are you? Good.
Lieutenant Cook, Southaven Police Department. Can we help you with?
No.
No?
Your name is Sergeant?
I'm Lieutenant Cook with the Southaven Police Department.
And your name, Sergeant?
Jeffy.
Thank you.
I just got a call saying you're kind of walking around, like taking photos of people's tags and in their cars and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I'm a journalist. I was just gathering content for a story. I'm taking pictures of like the different license plates and stuff.
So, taking personal license plates and government tags, or?
Well, I don't know what's the difference between personal and government. Some of them say
government, one doesn't.
Well, one of them over here says law enforcement on it, so I don't know. What, you know what I mean?
Are you from Mississippi or?
Oh, I'm not from the area. No.
Where are you from?
I don't want to answer that. Don't want to answer that. Yeah.
Who do you work for? We're journalists.
I'm independent, meaning that I work for myself.
Okay.
That's
Do you have
correct.
an ID on you?
No, I don't have any ID on me. No.
You don't have any type of form of identification?
No,
anything,
no.
With your picture on it?
No.
Nothing at all.
No.
Do you have an ID out of the state?
What does it matter if I have an ID?
Because it's policy for us when we get out and speak with somebody, we identify who they are, so that way we can add it to our CAD notes. So that way, if something happens or if somebody wants to file a complaint or whatever, it makes it easier for our bosses to know who we got and spoke with.
Yeah, Lieutenant, I do have an ID.
Okay.
I don't have it on me, and I don't make it a habit. It's my policy not to identify myself.
Okay.
Unless I committed a crime, no. Or
it's not necessarily you committed a crime. Again, it's when we make contact with the public.
Mm-hmm.
We usually, well, I say usually, we always we always get a name, date of birth, some sort of identification for them, whether it be via citation if they've made a traffic stop, or they called us out there, or we get a call from, say, City Hall.
Yeah.
Says, hey, somebody's walking around out here looking suspicious, taking photos of people's cars, of their license plates, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and I understand your policy completely.
Right. So that policy is, I'm going to ask you for your identification. So
yeah.
If you don't have it on you, I need to get your name, date of birth then.
My policy is I don't identify myself unless you
then
suspect me.
I'm going to ask you to stop recording. I'm going to ask you to leave, and if you refuse to do that, then we'll take it up from the stuff from here. And
why would you stop me from recording?
Because there's no need for you to be out here. Then you're on.
So you're saying because I won't.
I'm asking you to leave. Is what I'm asking you.
Because I won't identify myself to you. You're saying that I cannot engage in my constitutionally protected activity. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm asking you to leave. Is what I'm asking you.
But I have every right to be here. No.
Well, I have every right to ask you for your ID, but you don't want to give me that. So it's tit for tat.
But it's not a tit for tat. Okay. That's not very professional of you.
What was your name?
That's not very professional, sir.
What was your name?
Sir, I told you my policy is I don't.
Okay, where's your name?
Sir, I don't give my ID unless you suspect me of committing a crime, sir.
All right, you can have a good day. Well, the crime would be I'm asking you for something which is a lawful order, and you're failing to obey that lawful order.
You need reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime that I'm committing or I'm about to commit in order to demand.
You just did by not giving me the information that I asked for.
That's not true.
Okay, I know who he is. He's one of these.
Just because I know the law, you know who I am.
All right.
Well, please.
One thing, if you want to look at the cars that are identifiably marked as police department.
So this Camry over here says law enforcement. Is that?
That's actually a personal tag.
So why does it say? Why would they do that? Preferential treatment.
Mississippi has law enforcement tags that actually sponsor law enforcement activities, i.e., the benevolence fund. So when a cop gets killed, their family has money that's given to them to help support them because they lost the income for.
I can respect that. Yeah.
That's what that tag's for.
Okay.
The only cars that you're going to be allowed to look at out in this lot are ones that are clearly marked as Southaven Police Department or have a government tag, like on my unmarked unit that has a government tag. Outside of that, you cannot take pictures of those cars. You can't take pictures of the inside of those cars because that's private property. And by doing such, you are trespassing into that private property.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm just telling you that's how it's going to work.
You can't trespass the eyes, and at the end of the day, if it's in public, I could see it. If you went up on a traffic stop and you're looking in somebody's, it's the plain. I'm telling you right now, it's the plain view doctrine. It's the plain view doctrine, correct? If you could see it, are you trespassing into?
Reasonable suspicion to be out here to look at that car?
Are you when you're on a traffic stop, Lieutenant? Please, I'll let you talk. Can you let me talk? When you're at a traffic stop and you're looking in somebody's car with your flashlight. Do you have any reasonable suspicion or anything? No, because it's called the plain view doctrine. Right. Anything you can see from public, right. That's it. And if you see a drugs or a gun or a firearm from plain view,
what's the difference between you and me?
Nothing really.
Is there not? Because I have this on here,
Yeah.
and it's also a
You
safety
have a
hazard
badge
for me when I'm looking at that car, whether or not somebody's hiding in that back seat with a gun or an RPG or something to do something to me.
Yeah,
You, on the other hand, have openly admitted you are a journalist out
Correct.
there getting B footage for something, but you're also doing that not on government property, not on government vehicles, but on personal vehicles.
But they're in
We have-
public.
we have-
They're in public.
But we have reasonable suspicion.
So you're going to go to
once we
Walmart and do the
stop
same
them.
thing? Are you going to Walmart and do the same thing?
Well, Walmart would be private property, sir. This is public property, sir. That's the difference.
Okay.
This is public property.
Well, I'm asking you not to look.
I understand what
in
you're.
my
I understand what
vehicle.
you're asking me, sir.
Because
I
not every
understand.
vehicle out here is for an officer.
I
Some of these
understand
are
that.
public cars of people that are up here that are filing complaints, legit complaints, that have emergencies or talking to us because something happened to them that involves the law enforcement needing to be there. So now you're taking a photo of a car that may belong to somebody that doesn't have anything to do with law enforcement outside of the contact that needs to be made with them.
You guys run plates all day. Anybody who's
and we have
parked
the
in.
legal right to do that.
If I'm in Walmart, giving your example, if I'm in Walmart and I'm going inside of
Have a good
Walmart, I can see the plates from anywhere I can. Sir, I think you're being unreasonable.
I'm not.
You
I'm
are.
being very reasonable. I'm being very reasonable.
What you're trying to do is violate my constitutional rights, and I'm not going to let that happen here today.
There's no violation going here.
Okay,
And
great.
I'd like to know what you got a card so I can see what website you're going to post this to so I can watch it later.
No, you'll find it. I guarantee you. You'll be very much aware of where it's being posted to. Okay.
Okay. All right. Have a good day.
You guys can have a great day now.
Thanks.
Thank you. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You should take that seriously. I'm one of those guys. One of those guys who knows the law. Do you see how they try and make it seem? How they try and make it seem that they can demand ID whenever they want. And to somebody who doesn't know their rights, and this is exactly why I make these kinds of videos, for somebody who doesn't know their rights, they would have, honestly, been intimidated by the lieutenant and the sergeant here, and they would have handed over their identification because it's a lawful order. Wrong. It's not a lawful order. Now they're going to go about their day. This is public property. He's not going to stop me from walking around public property and taking pictures of vehicles. Like, they do it all the time. They look inside vehicles. It's called the plain view doctrine. They need to learn the law. They need to uphold the Constitution of the United States. That's what they need to do. Here he comes, making his U-turn over here. Yeah, you have a nice day, Lieutenant. All right, guys, so we're just getting out of the Southaven Police Department and the Southaven City Hall across the street here in Mississippi. So as far as the City Hall goes, they did an excellent job. The police officers stationed inside did not question my camera or my recording, which is a good thing. They just pointed me in the right direction and did not seem to care that I was exercising a constitutional right. As far as the Deputy City Clerk Ashley, she did an amazing job. She was very cordial, helped me with my request, was very pleasant to deal with, and set a good example for her city. And I commend her for that. Now, as far as the lieutenant and the sergeant who confronted me right outside the parking lot here, shame on them. They were both tyrants, ignorant of the law. Not only did they have this false perception that if I do not give over my driver's license or my name and date of birth, that they can restrict a constitutionally protected activity. Completely ridiculous. Completely. How can you restrict a constitutionally protected activity just because I didn't bow to your needs? I only give over my name and date of birth or my driver's license if they suspect me of committing a crime. And they did not suspect me of committing any crime. They tried to say that it was suspicious. We all know suspicion is not a crime. They said I was looking inside of personal vehicles. Isn't that what they do for a living? Isn't that what they do all day? Have you ever been pulled over and the police officer shines his light in your car looking throughout it? They said I needed probable cause and that I would be trespassing on private property by looking inside of people's vehicles. That's what they do for a living. And they use the plain view doctrine to support that, which obviously they've never heard of. Completely ridiculous behavior here. Once I started feeding them the law and educating them on our constitutional rights and the laws here in Mississippi, they figured out who I was. They were like, oh, I've seen this guy before. They didn't want to mess with me any longer, and they ended up leaving, doing the drive off of shame. But the reason why these videos are so important is because what if somebody didn't know the law? What if they weren't as confident in their constitutional rights? They would have believed the BS that a lieutenant and a sergeant, both supervisors, were spewing out. That's ridiculous. Trespassing on private property by looking inside of a car? That's ridiculous. Stopping and interfering with a constitutionally protected activity because I will not bow down to your unlawful request and provide you my name and date of birth? Who do they think they are? Hopefully they get a good education here today and they learn something. And let's see what the court of public opinion has to say about their actions. So let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.